conversations in the Republican Party so that we not only win tomorrow, but are able to create real, effective change. So without further ado, Carl DeMaio.
Thanks, Austin, and it's great to be here tonight, back visiting with the club. I was reflecting a couple months ago on kind of my own history and my own path, and it was after talking to a number of folks who are on my team. They were recently graduated, some of them are right now in colleges here locally, about some of the challenges they're facing. And I came to the startling conclusion that given my childhood experience, if I were going through college today, I don't know if I would be able to make it. And if you can imagine that, I've built 2 successful companies, was elected to the San Diego City Council, led citywide movements to get reform done, and now I'm running for Congress. And in talking with college students and hearing some of the challenges that they're having, I reflected on my own circumstances as a child, what I didn't have, and said, I don't know if I could actually make it given the changed circumstance and conditions. I was orphaned at 13. The Jesuits took me in. And because I didn't have parents, I didn't have income for incidental expenses like room and board and books. I did get a scholarship, which was great, but I had to also take out student loans to pay for the portion of my education that was not covered under scholarship. When I moved into Georgetown's dorms, I had $36 cash in my pocket. And that was it. No health insurance. And I knew that I had to do 2 things right away. First, go to the dean's office and figure out how do I cut a year or so off of getting my degree, because I can't afford 4 years. And the dean looked at me and said, well, no one's ever graduated from the School of Foreign Service, in 2 years like you're asking me. You might be able to do 3 years. And I was able to take extra courses and get through in 3 years. But second of all, I had to get a job. So after talking with the dean, I immediately went to the work-study program, got a job with work-study, and then also went out and got a second job because I needed the income. To try to figure out how to pay for room and board, pay for incidental expenses, and pick up university-sponsored health insurance, which was at the time like $80 or $100. That was 1993. I can't imagine trying to do that today, given the cost of your health insurance, given the cost of your room and board, given the exponential growth in the cost of college education itself, and the diminished job opportunities. I was lucky enough to get 2 jobs. And in this environment, it's hard to pick up enough hours to do half of a job. But I made it through. And at age 22, I decided to start a company to provide training to government managers and nonprofit executives on how to develop budgets, how to do good management, how to measure performance and be transparent. All the things that you want government to do to make sure your tax dollars are properly spent. So I went and prepared a business plan, went to SBA, and they said, oh, well, here's all the forms you have to fill out. You have to have assets because we don't just give out loans at the SBA. So then I went to a bank and I asked for a line of credit, and the lady said, well, why don't you come back when you have more experience, when you're older, you have a track record. It wasn't good enough for me, so I maxed out 2 credit cards, put my life savings at the time, which was $3,000, into marketing our first seminars, and 500 people showed up, and I kept plowing the profits back into the company, and then suddenly I had a staff, and then suddenly by 2003, when I was 28, I started my second company, a spin-off. And I was able to achieve the American dream. It was a lot of hard work, but it also was in a different time. And this was just in 1995, 6, 7, 8 that I was able to do this stuff and start my companies in 1998. Again, I look at the challenges facing small business owners, entrepreneurs. In today's environment, with all the regulation, all the taxes, and the culture of government, I don't know if I could make a success in doing the same thing today, given the new world order. That scared me. And I said, we've got to change this, because if I'm in their shoes today and they don't have my opportunities, and we're on a trajectory that it's going to only get worse, we've got to do something. And it has to start by alerting people in the millennial generation, the younger generation, those born after 1980, most of whom are in college or recently graduated. And so tonight I'm coming with a message. First, the opportunities that prior generations of Americans had are not available to you because of bad policies by our politicians in Washington, by both parties. The freedoms are not there, the economic opportunities are not there, the ability to get government services that you deserve because you paid your taxes, not there. I mean, anyone driven on our city roads? Anyone try to dial 911 to get a response time? The services that prior generations got for their tax dollars are not here today for your tax dollars. And so most people don't understand that. And I think we have to start out by alerting people, and I don't care about whether you're Republican or Democrat or Independent. This is a millennial challenge. It's not a Democrat challenge, it's not a Republican challenge. This is about your generation not having the same shot at the American dream that prior generations had. And so I took a step back and I said, what are some commitments that we ought to be able to assure this generation that they ought to expect, they ought to receive from leaders from both parties? And we came up with the plan